season as the Blaine Bengals travel to St. Louis Park to take on the Panthers.
They travel to Spring Lake Park to take on the Panthers.
What did I just say?
St. Louis Park. It's been a long season, folks. It's been a long season.
This is why I'm glad you're here. Bill Huff next to me. I'm Blythe Whaley, and we'll be taking you through this game. Not only is it the last regular season game for these teams, it's also going to be the senior night, of course, for the Panthers in Spring Lake Park.
Yes, and they have a lot of seniors led by, Macy Smith and Maddie and Genny. They're led by their seniors, and so it's going to be a really emotional night tonight here for the Panthers and this team. And obviously, Coach Etherton and Randy Etherton and his Panthers would like nothing more than to go out with a win. Yeah, exactly. And I know you talked about Maddie and Genny and Macy Smith. Both of them entered the 1,000-point club during their career, so it's been exciting. Maddie and Genny got there earlier this season, and Macy Smith got there in her junior year, so certainly their impact next year will be missed. Yeah, no doubt about it. And we want to give credit to Taylor Falvey, who's also a senior, Haley Herzog, Adriana Fanamel. So a handful of seniors on this Spring Lake Park team. And Blythe, I was informed before the game, by the way, that the Smiths that are starting out there, Macy and Cameron, are in fact not sisters, like I said last game. So I want to take that back as we're underway. It's always tough when those names, especially when they're so close. You're like, they gotta be, right? Right, exactly. What are the odds? It's a very common last name, though. Underway here as a shot fired there by Macy Smith, but the Panthers got the rebound, so we're still on offense. Macy Smith tried it again off the mark, but again, those second chance opportunities coming up for the Panthers, but this one ended with a travel. It'll go the other way. Macy Smith coming out firing. A couple offensive rebounds on that first possession, but ultimately resulting in a turnover. You would think down the stretch that is only going to help them if they can continue to get the boards like they did in that early few seconds. Yep, for sure. Shots fired. That's Lexi Mdeek getting on the board early. That was a 3. She is the team's leading scorer, so good to see her get off the schneid for the Bengals early. Panthers, great teamwork inside, getting it to Ngeni for the 2. Unselfish play from Ngeni, and actually the girl with the ball right now, Madison Haney, was the leading scorer for the Bengals last year. She's second on the team in points this year. Jade Bryant, shot from long, off, and the Panthers coming back to try to get on top. Macy Smith driving all the way off the mark. Got her own rebound, and they remain on offense. Just about stolen away. Panthers stay in possession. Great hustle play there by Smith. And Ngeni up and off. Smith got the first offensive rebound and then kept the ball alive by batting it back for the second. I'm really enjoying watching the Panthers get those second chance opportunities. Sure, they're not going in these early minutes, but if you can keep that effort going, they're going to fall. And right there, the active hands of Macy Smith nearly forcing the turnover and ultimately drawing the first personal foul on Lexi Mdeek. This is Avery Dunbar of the Panthers bringing it up. Again, oftentimes it's which team is going to get in rhythm first, as we see another shot there by Macy Smith off the mark. She started out cold, but she's still shooting. Very confident in her offensive game. She knows those shots will start to fall. Coming through the lane, finding her way. Terry gets the roll in. Allison Terry averaging 9 a game. A lot of balanced scoring on this Blaine team with 3 kids averaging around 9 points a game. In the lane, going to work. Taylor Falvey gets it to fall on senior night. On senior night, the best time to score, as we have a foul on the floor on the other end. That one's going to be called on 23. And Ngeni gets her first. And that's pushing the pace in transition, and they're both teams are looking to get to the bucket early on. Deep three.
Shot fired there by Haney. Off the mark. Both these teams really trying to get in rhythm and get their shots to fall, but Ngeni to the hole and gets fouled.
That'll be the first on Latasia Franklin, but again, yeah, we know what Smith and Ngeni can do when they get to the basket, so when they drive to the hole, so. And she's really good from the foul line, as you see, so definitely where she has piled up a lot of those 1,000 points is just being aggressive and being quicker to the basket.
Goes 2 from 2 for the line, and Ngeni.
Not going to see better free throws than that. It's
right.
A couple of swishes, perfect.
I know, watching the Gophers the other day, man oh my, they could take some pointers from her there from the free throw line.
Right.
Terry drives in, another floater, and she gets it.
She's really got that shot down, going to her left, getting in the lane, and then that little floater, like you said, with the right hand.
Macy Smith stripped. Latasia Franklin passes it up to Terry, but tipped out of bounds by Ngeni. Good recovery by her.
You know, those hustle plays, they might not seem like much early in the first half, but they add up, especially in close games.
Haney getting this one into Franklin. Gets it right back to her. Haney gonna try to take it, and she gets the roll.
We said Madison Haney was the leading scorer for the team last year at 13 or 13 and a half, I think, per game. Comes in this year 9.2, but obviously that senior leadership, really important.
Getting it in. We knew they were gonna start falling. Macy Smith for 3.
Deep 3 from Macy Smith, and now a fast break for Blaine.
Off the foot of Ngeni, this ball will be back for the Bengals to get to take it in.
I like it when you can identify players just by their shoes. So
yeah, right.
A couple of brightly colored pairs of shoes out there tonight.
You didn't used to see it as much in basketball. Over the last few years, I feel like we get to see the personalization on these shoes, it seems.
Right, right.
Reminds me more of soccer. I feel like that used to be even more so known in soccer, where all the cleats would be different. But basketball in the last few years, definitely, you can identify players, like you said, and one of those being Mdeek and her with her purple sneaks. And it's interesting, I remember there was a game earlier this season watching, and she got in foul trouble and didn't get to have an impact like she does normally. And the next game just shot lights out and had so many for her team and helped them to the victory. But her purple sneaks was the credit, which is what the other announcer said that night.
Well, that's what you get a lot of times with the best players, is they want to come back and make an impact, especially if they've had an off game. And so it's credit to her that she was able to bounce back and impact the game the way she was, as a foul on the floor on Spring Lake Park. And that's a big one right there, Blythe, because that's Ngeni's second.
And that's tough. Again, we talked about it being senior night, and Ngeni's one of those seniors, and so tough to see her go to the bench so early. 13 minutes, 25 seconds still in the first half here.
Yeah, sometimes you're so amped up for a game, you're almost over-aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. We see that in the early minutes. This is Jade Bryant passing it up, Mdeek.
Mdeek and Smith is such a good matchup because Smith is athletic enough to stay with her.
Another foul called. This one gonna go on Avery Dunbar, her first. Mdeek collecting this one, puts it up off the front of the rim. But we stay here as the Bengals got the rebound. Almost had it again, but referee's gonna call a jump ball.
Didn't feel like either player had enough possession for it to be a jump ball, but it's gonna stay down with the Bengals on this end. Good basket cut.
Panthers come up with the rebound. Avery Dunbar to Smith.
Ooh.
Getting blocked by Haney. A huge block there for her, but Macy Smith not letting that stop her any bit. She gets it back and up We'll go to the line.
Looked to me from here like she had double dribbled before she took that first shot, but she stays with it. Again, just a credit to her aggressiveness and her athleticism, and she draws the foul, and she'll go to the line. Tie game so far, and it's a good one.
First time tonight for Macy Smith to head to the line. She misses the first. We'll get another opportunity.
It's amazing, you know, you can have a really cold shooting first half and come out firing in the second half, and it's really a game of runs as she misses the second of the two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm excited to see what later minutes in this game could bring for her. Garber over to Haney. Good swinging it around here for the Bengals. Mdeek gives it up to Haney for three off the front iron. Second chance opportunity. The Bengals still with it. Haney.
They move the ball well.
Yeah,
they move the ball well for sure. A lot of basket cuts, good hands in the passing lane though.
On the ground, Haney with it. Bryant has to give it up to Garber.
They probably just need to reset right now, or they need to hit a three.
Haney fires off the mark again, but we're still here. The Bengals continually getting the rebound in this possession, but will give it up on a double dribble by Bryant.
3 offensive rebounds on that possession, Blythe, and that's getting after it. And I thought maybe at one point it might have made sense just to back it out and settle things down, set up a play, but ultimately, they decided to just continue to push the pace.
Good hands in the passing lane there for Blaine. That was Van Slooten tipping that one out. Sometimes you don't have to get the ball. You can still intimidate the other team if you keep tipping it out and you're not allowing them to just pass it around freely.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before with activity on the defensive end. If you're active, you get your hands in the passing lane, you're deflecting passes, that player is going to think twice maybe about passing it next time.
Absolutely. Dunbar goes to the hole. She throws it up and over, and Bengals get a chance at the lead if they want it. On the ground, jump ball with some tough defense coming from Cameron Smith.
Third turnover of the game for the Bengals. Yeah, if you get careless with the dribble in front of tight defense, you risk getting tied up like that.
It always is worse when the possession arrow isn't in your favor. You feel worse about it.
Absolutely.
Putting it up from long off the back rim there was Michaela Thomas, but this one will stay with the Panthers. A credit to the freshman taking the shot, confidence to put it up.
Yeah, averaging nearly 6 a game, Michaela Thomas, so more to come from her, you would think, in the future years.
Getting it into Diaz in the paint. 2 were on her, but she made a move and made it go in. Diaz for her first of the night.
She did a really nice job of making herself available in the lane, showing her hands, and then they fed her, and she made a nice move down low to get the bucket. So good, solid post play.
Dunbar with the rebound there. I guess not necessarily just the ball up and over the rim.
It's a power dribble right there. Yeah, got to get movement off ball. Just a little too much standing around right now for the Panthers.
Smith gonna go to work on her own, and she gets it to drop.
Or you could just give it to Macy Smith and she'll go to work. 5 now for Smith.
Yeah, pretty good game plan. That continues to work for them. Coming the other way, Haney.
And really nice job of Haney rejecting the screen, going the other way, and then still hitting the floater.
Yeah, it's always nice when you have players that have the vision to decide, because of course sometimes they just go with that option. Oh, they're setting a screen for me, I gotta use it.
And as you can see here, just high little banker off the glass, but because sometimes the player anticipates the screen to their right or their left, and then you can catch them looking, and then you're gone the other way. So it's a good move. Now full court press for Spring Lake Park.
Jade Bryant was wide open, but the Bengals still get this one across. Not using that option. Franklin gives it up to Garber. Terry gonna drive the lane again. Had success on her first two. This one she'll get to go to the line to try to drop two.
Kylie Diaz whistled for the personal.
Diaz on the call from the Panthers.
Now see, I myself appreciate the matching of the shoes with the rest of the uniform, you know?
Yeah, I go back and forth. I did have bright red shoes when I went to college, and my school colors were navy and gold. So I can't really say too much, but my high school was red and blue, so.
So they matched at one time.
Right? Ooh. Panthers swing, but this one up and over. That was Klobeck sending that one long. Throwing this one up, finding Bryant. Good decision by her to let that one go and not try to force it. Haney giving it back to Bryant. She fires from long. That one rattles out. Picked up by Thomas. Panthers coming the other way. Good job swinging it for three, but too much muscle on this one. Garber gives it up to Terry. She'll set up the offense as she gives it to Haney.
Oh, beautiful pass by Haney.
Great look to find Garber, but unable to make it fall.
Haney just really does a nice job from the point guard position of controlling the pace, right? And just kind of slowing things down. She knew that she'd have the roller, and she found her right in the middle of the lane. Couldn't hit the shot, but just a nice look and solid point guard play from Madison Haney.
Yeah, good calming presence really helps her team not feel overly rushed. I think sometimes teams, if they don't have a point guard that's setting up, like you said, that pace.
And like, look at her. She's coming to get the ball and just organize things. You know, she's just, as you said, a calming, steady presence.
Haney gives it up to Garber, trying to dish it to Bryant, but possibly should have went on her own.
Well, she got away with one right there because she tried to thread the needle between two Panthers, and ultimately it's just too tight down there.
Well, especially after you look at it for a while. Now you've already given away. That's right. Where you're going.
Exactly, because they'll read your eyes. So
this one almost an over and back there for Garber as she dishes it off to Franklin, driving. Bengals gonna look for that good chance opportunity.
Very patient.
Yeah, no need to rush this one. Sitting, the Bengals are just down one, but still so much time in this game. So like you said, no need to rush. Under 8 minutes to go in the first.
Panthers fans appreciating the turnover, the defense and the turnover.
Stripped away, that was Michaela Thomas. Klobeck off the front rim, doinking over and out of bounds.
Chloe Beck coming out firing. You know, she's coming in confident, getting more playing time late in the season, and they need her shooting.
Yeah, and like you said, she's a junior, so next season, hopefully she can use some of that confidence she's built this year.
Good defense right there. Oh, nice pass.
Great team effort there for the Panthers. Taylor Falvey gets the credit for the basket, and the Panthers are looking for some more. Giving it up to Ngeni, back to Klobeck, over to Thomas. Would have been nice if it fell, I'm sure, but this one comes back the Bengals' way. Down by 3, still a one possession game here as Franklin gets it to swirl around and in.
Pace of this game really starting to pick up.
From long, three-pointer shot up there, but again, you think about it, that was a quick pace, yeah.
Now it's a foul as Indeek tried to Euro step her way to the basket and then fouled Ngeni in the process.
15-14, the Panthers on top. They look to add to that.
2-3 zone now for Blaine, so they're giving him a different look defensively.
And if you're the Bengals, I think that's a good decision. Why not switch it up on them and see if they can handle it? Franklin coming away with the rebound.
Good hit ahead from Haney. I don't know about that foul, but ultimately it does get Reagan Van Sluten to the line.
They call this one on Klobeck. That's her first of the night. It's the team's 5th foul, so as we get closer to that 1-1, just 2 away now. She sinks another.
Very different game than last year, where Spring Lake Park fell to Blaine on the road, 73-32.
Right? It's so crazy sometimes what a year difference can mean for high schools.
Yeah, you graduate a couple kids get better over the summer, and all of a sudden now you're pretty even, as these two teams are.
Haney giving it up. Schloman gives it back. Here's Haney. Thought maybe she was going to take a chance, but Bryant tries to find Franklin under the hoop, too strong.
Sometimes when the offense is stuck, there's not enough movement, you force a pass like that instead of staying patient, working it side to side, and making them defend. So luckily for Blaine, I guess the positive is that you're able to come back and set your defense up. So like a 2-3 matchup zone. They seem to be pretty well drilled in it.
Panthers doing a good job swinging it around, having patience, and able to sink this one is Cameron Smith. It's her first of the evening.
Well, they say to beat a zone, you have to attack it with the dribble, and that's exactly what she did right there.
Yeah, it's either that or hit your long-range shots.
Right,
You have
exactly.
to kind of decide, maybe
Shoot
we got
your way out
to
of
get
it,
out of
yeah.
this. Bryant looking inside. Huge block there by Cameron Smith, but she gives it right back to her. Van Sluten called with the travel. Bails out Smith after she gave up what she had stolen already.
Yep, Cameron Smith having a really good game defensively. As we've already seen her with the steal. She forced another turnover there, basically. As Blaine back in the one-on-one defense.
Tough there. It almost looked like Ngeni and Franklin got tied up a little bit. Maybe their arms anyway, as Macy Smith threw that one in there. Did you see that? I couldn't tell if that was what I was seeing or not because I didn't feel like her arms got up
I
quickly.
think the entry pass was a little high too, but yeah, they definitely were doing battle down low for sure.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes when you try to get positioning, you're using your arms, your body, and then the pass goes,
Right.
like you said, maybe a little bit wide and not able to get there. Haney throwing this one around as it gets back into Terry's hands. She'll look to help set this one up. Franklin into Haney. She'll go to work, putting it up. This one rolls out.
Haney was in an interesting, different role in that she was sort of circling, looking for that post up with 4 out.
Yes,
Couldn't convert on the layup though.
Yeah, sometimes you find if you're like, hey, I think I can post up on this girl, you'll see players just go down to the block and try to get that to work.
Yeah, I mean, if you feel like you have a height advantage, she looked like, I mean, she had a good post move, so.
Yeah, she's one of those players I feel like, who, depending on who's guarding her, she probably could play any of those positions and make it work.
Yep.
This one into Smith. Cameron Smith all the way and falling. Another layup, her second.
No help defense coming over from the weak side, so that gave it all the way to the basket.
Terry, her opportunity, just boinks out. Some fast pace here for the Panthers, and Ngeni swings it out to Dunbar, and she gets the floater to fall.
Avery Dunbar loves that behind the back power dribble to change directions, and she used it to perfection right there.
Oh, I know that with the point guard, you're always thinking of like, what is your move? You kind of have that one that's just your go-to and it feels so natural, and certainly, like you said, that's hers.
5-0 run now for Spring Lake Park.
Schloman finds Bryant for the three-point play opportunity. She'll head to the line.
The announcer's curse, right? Or in this case, as Jade Bryant doing a nice job just cutting and then getting it and then making herself available. Again, showing and giving that clear target for your teammate.
We see, like we've seen a couple times this season, a mask malfunction. Bryant had to get a new one. Hasn't happened a lot, or probably maybe as much as you'd think. It could, since everyone has to wear it now, and
sure,
only seeing it maybe a few times this season with the different games.
It's really tough if you have the ball, too.
Bryant gets it to fall.
So Blaine takes a timeout. And Blythe, what have you thought of the opening 14 minutes?
Yeah, it's exciting this time around. Like you said, a lot different from last season. We get to see such a tight game, and I really think it's going to come out to be which team is going to have the grit to help see this one through, but depending on possibly those second chance opportunities. We saw so many in the first half here so far, and it's going to be the team that continues to get those down the stretch, because ultimately that's going to help this team, whoever it is, win the ball game.
Yeah,
How about you?
I think it's going to come down to, as it so often does in these games, who takes care of the basketball and who can convert their opportunities in close, right? Because we'll sometimes see, missed layups here and there, and both teams have had opportunities at the rim that they haven't converted. But when you get that good of a look, you have to make it count. And you have to get it to drop. And I think a key for Spring Lake Park is going to be, how do we get Macy Smith going, right?
Yeah.
Unofficially, she's, I think, 1 for 8 from the field to start, just the 1 3-pointer. Has missed a couple shots at the line, too. So they have to get her going offensively as the team's leading scorer coming in, averaging 13.6 a game.
And credit to the Bengals, that was one of their game plans, is how do they let other players on the team be the ones that's going to beat them if they do. And so they're honing in on Macy Smith, who gets to score right here as we talk about her. But her and Edgeny, of course, knowing that they have the target on their back, but Bengals doing a decent job in the early minutes handling those two besides just this last one.
Be interesting to see what play they run out of the timeout here.
Here
it's a good one.
Go. Bengals getting it to drop. That's Ava Meglin. It's always exciting, like you said, out of the timeout. What happens? Do they capitalize on that opportunity that their coach possibly drew up? And Genny off the mark. Bengals, an opportunity to get back in this one, just down by 2, sitting 23-21. Stopped up in the lane. Referee will say she traveled. That was Schloman.
And they ran the same kind of play where they had a ball screener, Van Sluden, at the free throw line. Couple players out wide on either side, and they were just going to run a little high-low if it was available. It wasn't that time. But these are big possessions for Blaine, because if you look at who they have on the bench right now, they have 3 starters out in Franklin and Haney and Mdeek. So if they can just hold steady and keep pace with SLP while they buy their starters some rest, that'll be huge.
Smith is certainly getting going after we just said that would be a key. And Ngeni as well. Those 2 players that the Bengals had been doing quite a good job of holding them in these early minutes. Kind of let that drop in these last few possessions.
They're going to need Haney to come back in, I think, and settle things down soon.
Terry getting this one in. Meglin. Miscommunication there, passing it. But we get it back to Terry at the top, looking like she's going to try to do what Haney's doing, settle things down. Into Garber. Garber gets it done.
That's a nice play. Garber, a 5'11 sophomore, averaging almost 11 a game. Her first bucket tonight, so they've got to get her going as well. Good power move to the basket.
Getting it into Diaz. She goes to work. Spin move. Too short.
She's got good footwork in the post, though.
Yeah, another player that's exciting, just a sophomore, so we'll see some good play from her years to come, I'm sure. It's turnover.
Coach Preston not happy with that forced pass.
Back to Diaz. She goes to work in the lane. Again, off the mark for her, but a good opportunity there for the Panthers. That's what they want to have. If they're going to miss it, they still had that quality chance in the lane. Terry trying to go in, but Diaz able to block it, but steps out of bounds.
Yeah, they're getting the looks that they want. I didn't think Macy Smith, I was kind of talking like she was going to get going in the second half, but she came right out of the timeout, a couple quick baskets, and she's got 9 to lead all scorers.
Getting it to drop, I believe that was Meglin. Maybe Macy Smith misunderstood. She thought you meant right then. She needed to go.
That's
was
right.
ready.
Well, hey, better, you know, the sooner the better if you're Spring Lake Park.
Getting it into Diaz again. That's who you want to have it in the lane. Getting it to drop. Diaz is second.
Such good IQ to just take the screen, use it, you know, the roll, and then just hit over the top. Beautifully, beautifully done. Oh. Spring Lake Park faithful certainly thought it was clean by Michaela Thomas, but it's going to send Molly Garber to the foul line.
Yeah, we found out how many Spring Lake Park fans were near us.
Yes,
with that
they're
one.
all to our right as well. It's been a very entertaining first half of basketball.
Yeah, gotta like it. 19.1 on the clock, just about over. Spring Lake Park 29 to Blaine, now 26 with this make from Garber. So now just that 3-point game. Garber trying to make it 2, and she does. Keeping it interesting. Got to be aware of the clock, though, on this one. Getting it into Diaz, and she gets it again. Diaz, 3 here before the half. 5 seconds on the clock. Meglin stripped. Macy Smith gets the 3 off in time, but just short. This one drops. We head to halftime. Spring Lake Park Panthers 31-27. Bill Hupp and Blythe Whaley, myself, I'll be back. We're here on North Metro TV.
Back here at Spring Lake Park, Bill Hupp alongside Blythe Whaley. Blaine will have the basketball to start the second half, moving right to left. Madison Haney inbounds the ball, and we are underway with the St. Louis Park ahead of Blaine, 31-27, and a steal right away immediately by Avery Dunbar.
Trying to set the pace early and just, again, for the Panthers, the momentum.
There's a shot off the mark, tracked down by Allison Terry. It was something that Blaine struggled with in the first half. 9 turnovers in the first half. Spring Lake Park coming out of the halftime break in a 2-3 zone. So a different look for the Bengals. And some strategy from Coach Randy Etherton. As they have it on the wing. Terry picks up the dribble. Top of the key for Imdik. Off the mark. Grabbed strong by Ngeni. Gives it up to Dunbar, and Dunbar crosses the timeline. Left-hand dribble all the way to the basket and lays it in.
Great decision, deciding no one is really going to stop me. I'm just going to go all the way. So good for Dunbar to make it happen.
And we've seen she's dribbling maybe one of her best skills. She's very confident with the basketball. Terry picks up the dribble, top of the key, gives it to Franklin. Bounced in the corner for Haney. Pump fake, 3-pointer, good. Rattles it home. Madison Haney gets it to drop. She's got 7 now. And it's a 33-30 Spring Lake Park lead. Swung near side for Dunbar. Underneath for Cameron Smith. Bumped by Imtik. And didn't matter because she puts it in. Cameron Smith with 6 points now.
Yeah, Cameron Smith almost putting down everything that she's shot, and that's because she's finding the high chance opportunity right under the bucket.
Swung near side for Terry. Picks up the dribble. And there's going to be a whistle and a foul on the floor. We thought it would be a good game between number 6 at number 4 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Different divisions, but still. And sure enough, it is. Personal foul whistled on Cameron Smith, I believe. Terry picks it up, gives near side or far side for Indeek. Dribble drive kick for Haney. She puts it on the floor. They're having a tough time breaking down the zone. Terry wants a three. That is long and snatched by Avery Dunbar. Dunbar through the middle. Again, behind the back dribble. Gives for Ngenia.
Yeah, good decision for them to kind of slow things down again, not trying to rush it.
Little dribble weave for the Panthers, getting to the bucket and missing the layup. Taylor Falvey got there, but just couldn't convert. And Deke across the timeline, picks up the dribble and hands for Haney. Gets it back, Franklin in the corner. She's not really looked to shoot much today, Latasia Franklin. Energy on the sidelines as Spring Lake Park forces the second turnover of the second half by Blaine. That zone kind of causing them some problems, Blythe.
Yeah, in these early minutes, they're going to have to try to figure out what is going to work for them, how to beat it here in these next few minutes to try to continue to stay.
Macy Smith, Euro stepping her way to the basket and laying it in. Smith has 11 to lead all scorers. And meanwhile, they've kind of baited Allison Terry into the middle of that zone, and she turned it over. So already 3 turnovers in this second half for Blaine. We talked about before the half how they've got to take care of this basketball. It's already a 7-point lead for Spring Lake Park, their largest of the game.
Yeah, and you think if possibly the Panthers score on this possession, that Coach Brewston would decide maybe to take a timeout and talk through how they can beat that defense.
Yep, certainly would be seemingly a wise move as Dunbar again goes behind the back. Throws it up off the glass. Terry comes down with the rebound. 14-16 as Terry walks it across the timeline. 37-30. Bengals trail by 7. Haney on the right wing. Decides to bounce it all. Right idea, just not on the same page as Molly Garber after she rejected that screen, but another turnover. Yeah, for the Bengals.
Unfortunate for the Bengals there too. Of course, they got the stop on the defensive end, wanting to start to try to climb back after the Panthers got up here by 7.
Smith, a long-range jumper is good, and Macy Smith's heating up. As we expected, she's got 13, and she has extended the Panthers' lead to 9. Garber puts it on the deck, tied up. Oh, and they got away. That ref has called a few blocking fouls from that vantage point tonight, and Ngenia whistled for the personal foul. Blaine was in danger of turning it over on 5 straight possessions to start the half.
Well, you just think about it. Ngenia now sitting at 3 fouls.
It's a big call.
That's stuff she sat on the bench because of fouls in the first half.
Now, and if this is on Ngenia, that's going to be a big one. It might be on Cameron Smith, but ultimately Haney draws the personal.
Macy Smith with the foul for the Panthers.
Yep, indeed. In fact, Macy Smith actually was whistled for the personal. Already 5 team fouls, or 3 team fouls, I beg your pardon. Haney wants it from deep on the right, off the glass, rebounded him deep, and that's the 4th personal, Blythe. That is the 4th personal on Maddie Ngenia, and now Coach Etherton must be wishing he'd subbed her out because she's going to have to go to the bench with 4 personal fouls.
Again, you feel for a senior night, of course. You want to be able to at least play. You want to be on the court even if you don't have an amazing night if you're a senior. But
yeah,
she's been playing well, just unfortunately here having some foul trouble.
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, Mdeek got the rebound and just went right up, and she rattled home the first free throw and buries the second as well. So this is perhaps Blaine's opportunity to get back in this basketball game. Trailing by as many as 9. It's 39-32 Spring Lake Park as Dunbar takes it on the left wing. You almost feel like you could anticipate that behind the back dribble. Macy Smith high off the glass is good. It won't really matter how much though if Macy Smith continues her torrid pace She has got 6 in this half. Back to a 9-point lead for the Panthers. 12:49 and counting left to go in the second half.
Yeah, you
Dribble
called
drive.
it, that it was going to be a huge impact if she can get rolling, and it certainly has affected this game.
And Deke pulls up from 3. Back iron, no good. Big rebound by Garber underneath. No good on the follow. Diaz. Yep. Bumped by Garber. And so, good strong rebound underneath by Kylie Diaz. Got another mask malfunction as Genny has to change. Full court press now set up by Blaine. First time we've seen this tonight from the Bengals, trailing by 9. Now Dunbar will play catch with Smith. Broken up to Macy Smith. Good look underneath. The hit ahead for Michaela Thomas. And the freshman gets on the board. It's an 11-point lead for the Panthers.
And that's what happens sometimes when you're pressed. If you're able to beat it, you have a great opportunity to score on the other end since they're so spread out on the defense.
Right, if you can throw it over the top, pass, 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 and then look ahead, you just have someone run to the block. Good hands from Cameron Smith. We've seen that a couple times tonight from the sophomore. Fouls 5-1 in favor of Blaine. So they could be very soon in the bonus. One-hand whipped pass to the wing for Mdeek. She puts it on the floor and travel.
Fortunate turnover for the Bengals. And they call off the full court defense. Like we said, it didn't totally work the way they would have wanted it.
And drop back into that matchup 2-3 zone. And wait for Spring Lake Park to try to figure this out as Diaz, little give and go to Smith. Got a little nice ball movement from the Panthers on this possession as Dunbar holds right wing.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Diaz at the elbow behind Thomas and out of play.
Yeah, they had some great action around the horn, passing it, finding each other. But of course, that entry pass, when you try to go into the trees, into the area where all the defense is, that's when it does get trickier, of course.
Haney jogs it across the timeline, uses the screen from Garber. Kicks to the corner, and Deke off the mark. Macy Smith to clear. 43-32 as Smith gives for Dunbar. She dials up a 3, off the mark. Diaz over her left shoulder, beautiful move. Kylie Diaz.
Yeah,
just
nice.
Loves going left.
Yeah, definitely a nice spin move by her. We've seen it numerous times tonight.
Off the mark on the 3, tracked to the corner by Thomas. Now they can push if they want, but Dunbar decides to draw it back, give near side for Macy Smith. Still in that 2-3 matchup zone. Smith pump fakes, kicks to the corner for Thomas. Underneath for Diaz, who has good post position.
Again, a good patient offense.
Smith behind the back dribble, into the lane, left-handed shot, off the mark. Garber clears, she pushes ahead. Jump stop, it's good. Fundamental from Molly Garber, and it's 45-34. St. Louis Park just staying ahead. 13-point lead, the largest of the game, and Deke takes the rebound and walks it to the left wing. Give for Bryant, misses the shot. Smith clears. And now Dunbar will wisely just slow the pace as we're inside of 10 minutes to go in the game. Panthers looking to finish the regular season with their 11th win. Dunbar nails it. Avery Dunbar with a triple. And Randy Etherton wants to take a timeout with his team having its largest lead of the game.
Yeah, and it's exciting to see the Panthers start to come alive. Like you said, Macy Smith having a huge impact here in the second half, but she's had some help from Diaz as well. There's been a few impact players on their team helping add to this lead in the second half, but the Bengals have kind of hurt themselves as well, of course, on the offensive side, not really being able to handle that defensive pressure.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to think that at one point this was a, a 19-18 game, thereabouts. Really, it was that 6-0 run for Spring Lake Park, kind of put some separation and made it, I think, 21-16. And then they've sort of just had that lead ever since. And it's the offensive exploits of Macy Smith early in this second half that is starting to create some distance between them and Blaine.
Yeah, and it's tough. You come out of halftime, and of course, sometimes teams are just better equipped to transition out of that. And we see the transition coming great lengths from the Panthers, really just surging ahead and capitalizing on, of course, probably what Etherton was talking to them about, but also, too, when sometimes your shots just drop. They weren't dropping in the first half, which possibly helped keep this one closer than maybe it could have been. But we saw Macy Smith miss more than she typically maybe would have.
She would have like 30 if she had hit. If she had shot her normal percentage in the first half. As we're back to action, bouncing far side for Mdeek on the left wing. Back in that 2-3 matchup zone is Mdeek. Good ball movement underneath. Schloman misses it, back tapped, and grabbed by Klobeck. Now Spring Lake Park, with the benefit of a 14-point lead, can afford to be very patient offensively and get a good look. Diaz has also been outstanding today. Three-pointer on the way, it's good! Klobeck drills a triple, and it's a 17-point lead. And really, they've come out of the traps firing in this second half, has Spring Lake Park. And Deke backs it out. Bounces for Schloman. She splits the defense. Franklin. Mdeek from three, off the mark, and Schloman gets the rebound. Dribble drive by Bryant for Schloman. Baseline, cut off. Great defense by the Panthers. Schloman dials it up. Back iron, that three-point shot just not falling today. And Blaine, good offensive rebound hustle by Mdeek. But Lexi Mdeek, 12.2 points a game. She's stuck on 4. And that three-point shot tonight, Blythe, has just not been falling for her.
Yeah, and it's tough sometimes when you're just trying to get back into a game and you want that shot to fall so badly. But you have to rely on your teammates sometimes to help that. When you're not able to shoot it and score, how are they going to help you? How can you help set them up?
Klobeck wants another one from the corner. Garber clears. 8 minutes to go. 51-34, Panthers on top of the Bengals, looking to close out senior night with a home win. Thomas forces the turnover, and who picks it up? I believe that's the 5th steal of the game for Cameron Smith. She's been everywhere on the defensive end tonight. Klobeck gets to the rim and draws the personal foul. See if it's Franklin or Garber who's whistled for it. And I think a good call to bring a couple of the starters back in. As that first one was missed. Haney and Jade Bryant coming back in. 1 of 2 from the foul line for Klobeck. 52-34.
What I am liking, though, is the Bengals are still taking their time trying to find that high chance percentage shot, because there is still time on the clock. They don't necessarily need to overly force it.
Just as you say that, they try to make something happen, and again, Cameron Smith ends up with the basketball in her hands. Now it's been quite a scoring drought now, at least 3.5 minutes for Blaine. And Spring Lake Park using that to pull away as Franklin tips it out of bounds, denying that post entry to Diaz. And I think if you're Blaine, you got to attack the rim and force the issue with the fouls, because you're in the 1-on-1. Cameron Smith, left hand is good.
Yeah, that's a great point, Bill, because definitely you have those advantages when that is showing its hand and you're like, okay, I know I could get to the line if I miss this, if I get some contact, so why not use that to your advantage, stop the clock.
Panthers on an 11-0 run to make this a 20-point lead as a foul, just as we said, on the floor will send Allison Terry, the 5'8" junior guard, to the free throw line. 9 points a game for her. 6:52 left in the contest. Off the mark. The Spring Lake Park team, if they've got their scores going and Genia can stay out of foul trouble, they're going to be tough in section play. Give near side for Smith. Cameron Smith turns it over. Garber steals the pass. And Bryant draws the personal foul on Klobeck, so Bryant will go to the free throw line.
I think we have a main line to the team right here. We're just telling them to.
That's right, that's right. Macy Smith starts scoring.
Yeah.
Blaine start attacking the rim. That was obviously in transition, so Bryant, first time.
So yeah,
second time, I should say.
Send in who you want us to say is going to win the game early, and then maybe that will happen for you. Since it's both of our teams, both teams could win.
You never know. Yeah, still plenty of game to play. 6:27 left. Front iron, no good. So Ngenia back in, which is probably the right call at this point. She goes right to the post, guarded by Franklin. Kicks it out on high. Cameron Smith, shoulder fake, gets to the rack, missed the shot, and Ngenia down low. I don't know how she wasn't fouled there, but ultimately we have a travel. So Blaine turns it over for the, unofficially, the 17th time tonight. Macy Smith returns. So you get the starters back in for the stretch run with a 19-point lead, 6:07 left. And I was saying, Ngenia, probably bring her back in, 6 minutes left, senior night, 20-point lead. Cameron Smith.
Yeah, I agree
pounding
with that
the dribble.
decision.
Macy Smith. Gives for Michaela Thomas and travel. Macy Smith leading all scorers tonight with 15 points. Only player in double figures tonight for either team. Haney across the timeline. Crossover. It hits, tried to feed Franklin down low, and it hit Ngenia's foot. Blythe, you've seen both these teams a couple times this year.
Yeah, and that's why it's fun, too, when you get to see them play each other and have such a close game. You don't always know what that matchup is going to look like.
Splitting the defenders, Franklin grabs the rebound. Kicks it out for Van Sluten. Haney from the left wing. Off the mark. Board skied for by Michaela Thomas. The freshman feeds Ngenia down the lane and scores. Maddie Ngenia, good unselfish play from the Panthers. Largest lead of the game at 21.
Yeah, Ngenia had 229 points on the season coming into this game. So certainly the impact she's had on this season already.
Again, unselfish play. Good hands in the passing lane for Haney.
Glad no one was sitting right there in the bleachers. That ball deflected.
Right, that was hard. Couple more Blaine Bengals return, but it's staying down on this end with Spring Lake Park. Smith. Top of the key. Left-hand dribble. Draws the foul. And Macy Smith has a quick enough first step where she should be able to get to the rim whenever she wants, to, no matter who's guarding her in the Northwest Suburban Conference. So she goes to the foul line, already above her season average. Not her season high. That was 24 points. Kayla Thomas gets a well-deserved rest. 4:51 to go second half. Hard to believe, last game of the regular season, huh?
I know, it's just crazy to think we're already this far into March, too.
Right.
I'm like, wait a second, where did this year go? It's going by so quickly.
That was Smith's first free throw of the game. She's got 16. Haney fouls up her own miss, and then Smith takes it away right away. Up ahead. Layup's good. Now they're sharing the wealth, and again, Spring Lake Park just continuing to pull away in this second half. And Blaine has scored 1 point since the 12-minute mark. Haney, dribble drive, looking underneath, right to Garber. Missed the layup. That's the kind of second half it's been for Blaine as Smith clears. Smith walking her way through. Not literally walking, but you know, getting her way to the rim where she draws the personal foul. So she'll go back to the free throw line, looking to. Sure, she'd love to get 20 points on her senior night.
Yeah, why not? Still enough time to make it happen.
Rolls the first one in. Avery Dunbar returns. She's got 8 in the second half, 9 in the first half, 8 in the second half. And, you know, this classic tale of two halves, really. 61-35 as Blaine's got 8 points in this second half. She's really struggling offensively. And Haney, no announcer's luck there. Good rebound by Bryant, who lays it in and draws the foul. Jade Bryant, the junior, still working hard down low, grabbed the rebound, and she'll go to the free throw line. But yeah, bear in mind, this game was 31-27 at half.
And I think that has a lot to do also just when you think about momentum. And we got to see the Panthers really come out of halftime clicking on all cylinders. And definitely when you can start to see that if you're the other team, it's tough to come back if your shots aren't falling as well.
Charge, our first charge called tonight. It's Taylor Falvey. And I'm sorry, I didn't even see who drew the charge. I don't know if it was Haney or...
I think it was Bryant.
Oh, it was Bryant, yeah. She does look like she just took the worst of it. So Bryant hustling down on one end to get a three-point play and then drawing the charge on the other. So,
yeah, Coach Bruce Doohan has to be happy, at least this team. You know, at the end of the game, of course, sitting down here by now more than they would like, but still
well, they've still got section play. Yeah, they've still got section play. So this is by no means the end. 3:20 left in the game. 61-38, Panthers on top. Deke swung near side for Haney. Garber at the elbow. And Deke from the right wing. Macy Smith there to clear. Smith with 18. Up ahead. And good block from behind by Garber. Garber, you can see why she's so good as a sophomore. Garber hesitation dribble. No call, even though Ngeni took the... Looked like she may have taken a charge, but Garber missed the layup. Dunbar trots it across the timeline. Good backdoor feed. Ngenia grabs the offensive board. Smith has 20. Just soft touch in the lane, too, with a little swish. And she has got 14 in this second half. Back to a 2-3 zone. Deke for Haney. As we are going to clear the benches now. Ngenia grabs the rebound. Coach Etherton wants to get the subs in, so he takes a timeout. So we'll have both benches for the last 2 minutes and 23 seconds. Spring Lake Park, a lead as large as 26 in this game in the second half. And definitely need the full roster now for these last 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Yeah, when you think about it, when he gets to be at these games at the end of the season, it is nice. Some of these players will get to get in and have some of this varsity experience. Some of them, I'm sure, will have had some already prior to this game, but still to get some minutes and have some of those players who have been playing a lot of time throughout the season get to cheer on some of those players who have helped them practice and be the players that they are as we see them on the court tonight.
Especially on senior night, you know, and regardless, I mean, but yeah, it's nice when the result is not in doubt and you can clear the benches. So Blaine will finish the regular season at 8-10, 6-7 in Northwest Suburban Conference play. They'll begin section play on Tuesday, I think.
I think it's Saturday.
Oh, it's Saturday.
For the quarterfinals.
Okay.
So both of these teams, I think.
I must have been thinking hockey. I apologize.
I think you are, yeah.
Spring Lake Park, meanwhile, will finish with a very impressive 11-7 record and 9-3 in conference play, losing only to Elk River, to Tino Grace, and I believe Rogers in their last game. Diaz, shot from the elbow. Diaz tracks down the rebound, tipped out of bounds, battling with Meglin. As we've got 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. Annika Schloman, the sophomore. Swing near 5 for Grace Halseth. Good little hook shot. But ultimately Diaz clears. Diaz has been a really underrated player tonight for Spring Lake Park as well. Dribbling into traffic and earning a foul.
Yeah, I've got to see her have a few good games here out of the games that we got to watch, that she stood out to me as well, of just having such a great impact and presence in the lane. So I'm excited to see her next year as well.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That was Adriana Fenelman, one of the seniors. Good out of bounds play to get a basket for Brianna Nussbaum, just a freshman, and she's had a nice impact with 6. Good power move and a nice layup for Marina Lafreniere. Not bad for the first time seeing that name. Marina Lafreniere, just a sophomore, gets her first bucket, tipped. And Blaine brings it back with Schloman getting into the lane, blocked by Diaz. Nets this time, Diaz clears as you would think Spring Lake Park will just dribble out the remaining seconds of this one. Or they'll shoot a 3 and hit.
Gotta like that.
Oh, man, yeah. Can't hold the kids down. That makes Spring Lake Park's largest lead 28. This may be where they... We'll go back to Blaine with 24 seconds left. I almost had to eat my words again.
Right.
68-40. How about Spring Lake Park's defense holding Blaine to 13 points in the second half while scoring 37 themselves. Good block by Diaz underneath. 7 seconds left. One more chance and turned over. And as this one will end, a convincing victory at home on senior night for Spring Lake Park. They outscored Blaine in the second half 37-13 to win going away 68-40. And Blythe, your final thoughts on this game between these two Northwest Suburban Conference rivals?
Yeah, I think Coach Etherton has a lot to be proud of his team by capitalizing on that second half when it really mattered. His team able to start connecting, and of course, as you said, holding this Blaine team to just 13 points in the second half is a huge accomplishment. So if his team can play both halves like that as they head into sections, I think they're in a good spot.
And And how about Macy Smith? 20 points tonight. If we had a player of the game, she would certainly get it. 20 points on senior night after starting 1 of 8 from the field. She finishes with 20, has 14 in the second half. A really impressive performance out of her, Blythe.
Yeah, of course. Again, just her ability to respond in the second half. Like you said, when you're not scoring in the first half, how can you come out of the second half and treat it like it's a new game, a fresh start? And she did.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And good momentum for Spring Lake Park and the Panthers and Coach Randy Etherton as they move into section play. That'll do it for tonight from Spring Lake Park. For our guy in the studio, Preston Schultz, our camera operator, Josie Spry, Blythe Whaley, I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Spring Lake Park, where again the final, the Panthers beat the Bengals by a final of 68-40. You've been watching high school girls basketball on North Metro TV.